Talk about interesting. What is up, YouTube? We're going to be going through another round of regional deck profiles for everybody today. First up, though, is a Magical Musketeer list that got 25th place at the San Diego Regional. And the reason why this is important is because, one, it's a California Regional. Let's be honest, most of those are pretty fucking big in terms of event size and things like that. But what is this Magical Musketeer deck doing that's really all that different from others? Well, it's right here. We're actually pulling a page out of the anime. We're playing Double or Nothing. And the reason why this is good is because you make Utopia double. Quick effect, detach material from this card, add one Double or Nothing from your deck to your hand, and then you can special summon from your extra deck one Utopia Exceeds monster except for Utopia Double by using this card you control as material. And if you do its attack, it comes double, but it cannot attack directly. This is treated as an Exceed summon, and you're going to transfer the material. So you bring this guy out at 5k, and then you can attack with him. Use his own effect to negate his attack, and then Double or Nothing. When a monster attack is negated, target that monster. It can make a second attack this battle phase. The attack becomes double. So you get to cheese your opponent by making your Utopia go to 10,000 power, and you literally just cheese over anything that you really want. It's cheesy. That's all you need to know. So we're doing Magical Musketeer things in addition to cheesing our opponent 101. So we play the one copy of the Magical Musketeer Calamity. They all have the standard effect of you can activate a Magical Musket spell and trap card from your hand. If cards activated in this column, you get to target a Magical Musket in your graveyard and special summon it. So this is our Reviver. Starfire allows us to special summon from our deck when we activate in the same column as here. Kid Brave allows us to discard a Magical Musket to draw two. The triple copies of Master Dock, activated in the same column as it, to add a Magical Musket card from our graveyard to your hand, but not of the same name that's been activated this turn, which is pretty important. Then we have the triple copies of Caspar. It's going to be our searcher for the deck. I mean, this is your pretty standard monster lineup besides Calamity. I almost feel that this is pretty normal. Then we play the two copies of Instant Fusion, getting access to, our friends for any sort of interruption that we're going to want. It's pretty good. Two copies of Desires. It can matter what we banish, but not really. I mean, we want resources to be able to play the game. We do play the triple copies of Ties of the Brethren. Pay 2k, get to beam out two more guys. Like, this is literally free value. Plus, if you've ever got one of these on the field, you get to trigger it anyway. Like, it's so good. We have one copy of Double Summon, just an additional grantor to allow us to play the game. Functionally, this is okay. One copy of Upstart Goblin. Triple copies of Called by the Grave because I hate hand traps. We have the two copies of Super Poly. This is just more or less cheese, but I understand why we have to play it. Triple copies of Cross Domination. Make a monster 0, and then cheese your opponent. Then we have one copy of Double or Nothing. Triple copies of Desperado. Patrol Magical Musket, target a face-up card on the field, destroy it. Of course, only one per turn. One copy of Needles from the Graveyard. One copy of the Crooked Crown. Excuse me. This blinks the column, which is pretty good. One copy of the Fiendish Deal, and triple copies of Last Stand. Here in the extra deck, we have one Link Kribo, one copy of the Old Break Sword, one Nightmare Shark, one Utopia Double, two copies of Utopia, one Utopia the Lightning, one copy of Thousand Eyes Restrict, one Millennium Eyes Restrict, one Mud Dragon, one Duplexer Chimera, one copy of Dragostapolia, Starving Venom, Chimera, and the World Chalice Guard Dragon, which is just 3 Link monsters to slurp. Then we have one Perincatops, two Lancia, one Archfiend Eccentric, two copies of Ash Blossom, two copies of DD Crow, two copies of Typhoon, two Evenly Matched, and triple Dimensional Barrier wrapping this up. Holy crap. Magical Muskets. I mean, it's 25th place. I'm not going to dog on it too hard, but, this is fucking sweet. I'm really happy to see that this deck is actually doing something in today's day and age. 25th place isn't something to really, schmuck at, but it's still top 32. That's really good. Now, next up, we're going to be looking at Ryan Lagdun's list from Hawaii. And this was actually sent to me by him and a couple of other people, actually. Said, Robbie, hey, look at this, tell us your opinions on this. So one thing I do want to say about this is Ryan messaged me and said, hey, I really really love the Madolche content. He's like, you know, you gave me a reason to want to go play my event. I was like, dude, like, it's what I like to hear. Like, you got inspiration to go play your deck, and you made top 8 with it. All right, that's impressive. I know there's not a lot of people that can say that this format, and it really sucks to say that, but, you know, keep playing what you love. Eventually, you'll get success with the deck. I mean, it just sucks that things like chocolate a la modes are so goddamn much right now, or else I tell more people to play this deck, and that's the sad part. Like, the old Madolche players that had it are finding success now, and I mean, it's in small numbers, but hey, you know, it's something. So, this is the Hawaii list. So, we have triple copies of Ash Blossom, triple copies of Prangatops, triple copies of Phantasmi, 2 copies of the Turtle. Then we have triple copies of Angeli, 2 Hoot Hoots, triple copies of Mageline, 2 copies of the Messengelato. Then we have triple copies of Petting Susior, 1 copy of Pudding Cess, triple copies of the Gamma, 1 copy of Driver, triple copies of Called by the Grave, 2 Chateau, 1 Ticket. These are interesting ratios, but I understand. Like, some people like 2 Chateau, some people don't. It's up in the air. 2 copies of Pot of Extravagance, 2 Twin Twisters, and triple Infinite Impermanence. Down here in the extra deck, we have triple copies of Fresh to Start, 1 copy of the Phoenix, 1 copy of Borlode, 2 copies of Glace Fleuet, triple copies of Tiramisu, triple copies of Chocolat a la Mode, 1 copy of Abyss Dweller, and 1 copy of Omega. Side deck here. Triple copies of Lancia, triple copies of Anti-Spell Fragrance, triple copies of Evenly Matched, triple copies of Red Rebuto, and triple copies Solemn Strike. Wrapping up Ryan's list here. Like I said, congratulations, Ryan. Like, it's cool to see more and more Madolche, actually. I have another Madolche list that we'll do later in the week. I'm not surprised to be seeing all of this Madolche coming out of nowhere, because, like, it's doing really well. Like, honestly. Now, the last list we have from the Hawaii Regional, actually, was Cody Manabe's first place Mystic Sky Striker. Now, interesting things to note here. We're only on 2 copies of Metaverse in the main deck. We saw coming out of the Dutch list that was posted, what was it? We had 3 copies. I think a lot of people are just kind of floating around, testing things. Also, this build is playing effect failures, which is fine. We've also standardized MSTs at this point over Twin Twisters. I've almost felt there's been a couple of Twin Twister lists, and I get it, I really do, but it's kind of just up in the air, like, do you want to discard or not? And hey, Pot of Desires still making that splash. I mean, you got to get to your key pieces. I mean, this card is just such a blowout in matchups, literally a blowout for these. The only other thing that sticks out to me here is the triple full house in the side deck. I'm curious to know how this actually tested for him. I've seen different stuff on this. It is what it is. At least you can detonate your own shit if you need to. But, I mean, if you can get a free +4 on this, fucking go for it. So, we have triple copies of Ash Blossom, 2 copies of Effect Failure, triple copies of Sky Striker Ray, 2 copies of Mystic Mine, 2 copies of MST, 2 copies of Pot of Desires, 1 copy of Rhoda, 2 copies of Area Zero, 1 copy of Afterburners, 1 Jamming Waves, 1 Eagle Booster, 1 Hornet Drones, 2 copies of Shark Cannon. Still that debate on 2 versus 1 of this format. It's pretty interesting. Triple copies of Widow Anchor, triple copies of Multi-Roll, 1 Hercules Base, triple copies of Engage, 2 copies of Terraforming, and 1 Upstart Goblin. Traps here, we have 2 Infinite Imperms and 2 copies of Metaverse. Down here in the extra deck, this extra deck is pretty much what we've seen come out of everybody. I think this is literally the staples, minus like Armor Whale. This depends. So we have 1 Topological Bomber, triple Shizuku, 1 Kaino, 1 Kagari, triple copies of Hayate, 1 copy of Ningrisu, 1 Abermax, 1 copy of Unicorn, the 1 Phoenix, the 1 copy of the Ablaze, and the 1 copy of the Boral Sword Dragon. Side deck here we have triple copies of Lancia, 2 copies of Prankatops, 2 copies of Ghost Ogre, triple copies of Twin Twister, 2 Full House, and triple copies of Summit Limit. Wrapping up this bad boy. Well, honestly, that's all we got for this video, guys. please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about these lists. I'm really happy to see that Madolche and Magical Muskets are actually starting to do something in today's era. It definitely warms my heart, and I mean, there will be more interesting stuff to come. So, alright guys, I'm out. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.